Full disclaimer, by the way, I'm not in any way, shape, form, or fashion a professional bow hunter. Okay, so this is just tips and tricks that I've learned along the way that hopefully will help some of you guys. Okay, so if anybody has different opinion or whatever it may be, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just sharing information that has worked for me, and hopefully it'll help you all. Thanks. Oh, I didn't see y'all there. What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's been a long time coming. Um, but had an idea a while back, actually not a while back, like a few days ago, about a new video. Um, so I made a list and we're going to get into it. Bows. Strictly, this video is for people that are getting into bow hunting. Maybe you're thinking about just getting into shooting a bow in general or whatever, but strictly more or less for people that are going to be bow hunting. Um, for starters, I'm going to try to make this quick. So we'll just hop right into it. First things first, I'm just going to give you some tips, maybe save you some money and some time and some heartache and headache along the way. First things first that I want to mention is the brand of bow. Okay, everybody's going to have their own preference, but if you're watching this because you're new to bow hunting and you don't have a preference. So, my piece of advice to you is not to get so caught up in what brand of bow you're buying. I say that because bows now are very expensive. It would be very easy to go in and, like I said, easily spend $2,000 on a bow. By the time you buy the bow naked, then you buy your stabilizers, your sights, your rests, all that stuff, arrows. You dress that bad boy up, you're gonna be up there. So don't get so caught up on brand. This one here is a Hoyt Carbon Defiant Turbo. I think it's Turbo. No, it's just a Defiant. Thought it was Turbo. Anyways, regardless, this is like their older bow. I think somewhere between 16 and 18. I think is when they came out with this. I'm a huge fan of it. I bought it last year before season started, off of a local guy for $600. Okay, it is an awesome, awesome, awesome bow. He put a sight on it, a whisker biscuit, a stabilizer, a wrist strap, uh, a new D loop, and he put a kisser button on it, which I don't use a kisser button. Uh, I use my jaw as an anchor point. Um, so yeah, and then a quiver. He put a quiver on it as well. No, we didn't actually. Just kidding. I had to buy this, which wasn't a big deal. Little backstory: the first bow I ever had was a PSE. It was an old PSE. My dad bought it for me for my birthday when I was like 15 years old, I think. Um, Loved it. Thought it was awesome. Next bow I bought was an Elite. My pocketbook is still hurting on that one. Um, Very expensive. Got rid of it. Got a. I've had Bear, Matthews, PSE, Elite, Hoyt. My favorite out of all of them is probably a Matthews Switchback, but all that to that's not important. Just don't get so caught up in it. Everybody makes a good bow. I've harvested deer with every bow that I've ever had, so don't get so caught up on it. Second thing, kind of hints on the first thing. Price point. Like I said, guys, I bought this thing for $600, and this is a bad mamma jamma. Um, don't be afraid. You can go to Bass Pro. I don't know if you can now. You used to be able to go to Bass Pro and buy a fully dressed up bow for 500, $600 or something like that, and it come with everything you need. Only thing you needed was arrows. Which brings me to my next point. Um, Arrows is one thing that I probably would. What's up, dude? What are you doing? Arrows is something that I would strongly suggest you spend your money on. One big thing to focus on, and I don't know if you can see it, is spine weight. Okay, you say hi. Spine weight. spine weight is, it has a lot to do with your draw weight and your poundage. Okay. You want to make sure that you get that. You'll get a lot better flight out of your arrows by doing so. Okay. Which brings me to my next point. Actually, let me hit on something else with arrows. Make sure that when you buy an arrow, okay, your field points, which is just a, nothing crazy, just a field point, a practice tip. Make sure that the diameter of the practice tip matches the diameter of the arrow. Okay. Again, you'll get a lot better arrow flight. When I first started shooting a bow, I would just go and I would buy 100 grain, 110 grain field tips. Didn't care about the diameter. Blah 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 blah. And what I noticed, and I don't know why, but I would shoot a diameter that was bigger than my arrow, and it would fly fine. And then I'd put a broadhead on, and it would like kick, and it would just do weird stuff. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I don't really know, but it was just weird. So I'd done research and found out that diameter size needs to match. There's a reason they make it. Okay, so second point, your field points, field tips, and your broadheads need to match as far as weight wise. So if you're going to shoot 100 grain, 110 grain, whatever it is, make sure that your field tips and your broadheads match, because when you go to sight this thing in, okay, you're going to sight it in with field tips normally. Some people, I think, may sight it in with broadheads. But anyways, you just want to make sure that your field tips, your field points, and your broadheads, they coincide with each other. Third tip, fourth tip, I guess, shoot a lot and shoot often. Okay. And while you're doing so, wear what you're going to be hunting in. Okay. A lot of guys that bow hunt, a lot of people that I know that bow hunt, they only bow hunt when it's bow season. Whenever muzzleloader and rifle comes in, they're picking up the muzzleloaders and the rifles, and they're putting the bows away. Me personally, I like to use a bow year round. I'll use a rifle, excuse me, a little bit throughout the season, but mainly I'm using this. So early season, most of us wear a ball cap when we go hunting. Make sure you got a ball cap on when you're shooting. I don't have it out here, but like a chest rig, if you're going to be wearing like binos and a rangefinder or whatever, make sure that make sure you're practicing with that stuff. Okay, so wear what you hunt in. Do not bite me, you little turd. So wear what you're going to hunt in. When you get in the later season, if you still decide to bow hunt, then you'll be putting on bigger jackets and that sort of thing, and that's different. Which we'll get into clothing and some other things on a later video. Let's talk about equipment really quick. A release. What I use is just a wrist. I don't know the technical term for it, to be 110% honest with you. Just like a wrist strap, I guess. Wrist release. That's what we'll call it. Which is this. A lot of people have switched to like a thumb release. One tip, if you're new to it, I suggest you start with this. It's a lot easier. These things, make sure you get one that when it's not being compressed, it's staying locked. Okay, so you're not having to, you clip it on there, put it around there, and just let go. And it's a lot easier when you're pulling back, right? You can pull back with your finger behind it, and then you're just punching it as you go. So wrist strap release, rangefinder is crucial. If you're worried about, you're in a tree and you're trying to range a deer, and minimal movement, whatever, and what I would suggest is get a rangefinder, and before the hunt really begins, hey, y'all quit. Well, once you guys take it inside, so that way you're not going to lose it out here. It'd be a lot easier to find inside than out here, okay? One tip, when you get into the tree stand and daylight hits or whatever, pick out points that either that you know where the deer are coming from, or you just some sort of reference point that you can use. Range a tree. Okay, that tree's 20 yards, and just make a mental note. I remember there was a field I used to hunt in Virginia, and I knew that at that tree line, right across from the field, was 34 yards. I knew that. So I knew that if anything came right there at that tree line and I couldn't get any closer, 35 yards, smoked. So just do that if, especially starting out. Um, that's a whole other topic. But just get a rangefinder, learn how to use it. Walmart sells some cheap ones for like 60, 70 bucks. I use a Vortex. I like those a lot. If I had to recommend a sight for a bow for beginners, I would recommend a 3-point sight. Reason being is you get too much in there, you're going to be looking at too much. So 3 pin sight, 20, 30, 40, and you're good. Maybe we'll do a video on how to sight in a bow. But anyways, anchor point is a big thing. Like I said, this bow's got a kisser button on it. Bowmar's got a nose button. Like I said, I use my jaw right where my jaw comes down, and then comes down here, and then goes towards the bottom of my chin. Right there, that's what I use as an anchor point. Some people use a spot on their nose or on their lip or something. I've always used that, and it's always worked really well for me. Another thing about equipment is a quiver. This is a detachable quiver. It's got a loop on it. I can hang it up in a tree, nock an arrow, hang my bow up, and I'm done. I ain't got to worry about it. But I say that to say this. If you are going to, don't get so caught up in like how many arrows you can hold. I hunted with a 3. I don't know what you call it. A quiver that holds 3 arrows. That's what I hunted with for a long time. This one holds 5. But if you're going to take it off in the stand, practice with it without it, with it not on the bow. Okay, just balance wise, balancing the bow, leveling the bow, that sort of thing. Just you want to try to mimic as much in a stand as you do when you're practicing. Other than that, last thing, poundage. Okay, first off, check your state laws and see what they say as far as what your poundage has to be in order for it to be legal to hunt with. I want to say in Tennessee it's 50 pounds. I could be wrong. I don't know. This bow has 65-pound limbs on it. When we put it on the press and done the test on it, I want to say it was at like 66, almost 67 pounds. It shoots fine. I've had 0 problems out of it. Harvested 2 deer with it last year, so haven't had any issues. But what you want when you are drawing your bow, okay, I would say a majority of us could probably pull, I'm going to say 80 pounds. Some of us may be able to pull more. But anyways, what you don't want is when you're in a stand, this pulling, and then going here, right? I'm going to shoot an arrow. What you want is when you are in that stand, right? You want to be able to, let me back up a little bit. Okay. You want to be able to pull straight back on that bow, okay? With minimal movement. So that way you are minimizing the chance of getting seen by a deer, because they will see you. I've been busted more times than I would like to count and admit. But other than that, I want to get into some more stuff on the equipment side, clothes, scent control, that sort of thing. Because, dude, when you are bow hunting and you've got an animal that has a nose like no other, you're gonna get winded. They're gonna smell you. I don't know a bow hunter that has never got winded. It happens. Wind direction changes, that sort of thing. But anyways, that's a whole other video. If you guys would like to see stuff like that, let me know, and we'll try to put a video about that together. But other than that, quick recap. First thing, brand of bow does not matter. Okay, find you a bow that fits the price point that you can afford. No need to break the bank on that. Shoot a lot and shoot often. Shoot as much as you possibly can. Okay, the more and more that you can get used to this thing, the better you're going to be. wear what you hunt in. I'm not saying you have to go full kit, but wear a ball cap. You know, if you're gonna be wearing a long sleeve shirt, you know, that sort of thing, harness, whatever it is, make sure that you're wearing that, guys. I'm not saying you have to wear it all the time. Get a good feel for your bow, how it shoots, and that sort of thing. You know, maybe the last 20 shots that you're gonna shoot that day, just throw your stuff on and get a feel for it. Because when you're up there and your emotions start rolling and everything else, a lot of stuff comes into play. So brand the bow, doesn't matter. Price point, don't break your bank. Shoot a lot, shoot often. Poundage, that's what I was going to say. Yes, smooth draw. Arrows, field points, broadheads. Spine weight on the arrows is a big, big thing. And equipment, your release, rangefinder, 3-pin sight. It's a lot easier to focus on those 3 than it is to focus on all 5, or, you know what I'm saying, try to figure out. Anchor point and quiver, that sort of stuff. If you got any questions, comments, whatever, drop them below, and I will for sure get back to you and answer it. I hope that this video helps somebody, and good luck hunting. Bow hunting's fun, guys. It's a challenge for sure, but it's rewarding at the end when you finally get to harvest your first animal with it. So thank you, guys.